Welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me for this week's Moon Scoop video. My name is Ryver and I'm the intersectional astrologer and Reiki master of Psyche and Soul Astrology. For all of you subscribers, thank you so much for your patience and for joining me here again as we head into the winter. And for anyone who's new, thank you for taking a chance and exploring this channel with me. This week we'll be exploring the new moon in Scorpio, exact right around 8:38 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Sunday, October 27th. Now, this week is a really big week. There's a lot going on, and I've talked about it in the weekly forecast, in the weekly horoscopes, and you can find links for those down below in the description box. There's also been a lot going on behind the scenes for Psyche and Soul Astrology, and if you're interested in that, you can click on the video, I believe will be up in this corner, and find out what I've been up to and what I have in store for you. Now, if you're just here for the Scorpio New Moon, the tangible takeaways, and all of the astrological insights you've come to expect, then we'll just dive right in. Now, this new moon in Scorpio is a powerful one, and it's going to be an intensely dramatic one for a few different reasons, although that intensity is much more likely to be an internal experience of emotional intensity than an outer world experience of intense events. I say this because the Scorpio new moon, the lunation chart that we have, and I will throw that up for a minute and I'll let it hang out for a few seconds at the end of this video so you can look at that in more detail. This lunation chart has Gemini rising, which means Mercury is ruling the chart. Mercury, the planet that's all about communication, all about thoughts and seeing patterns and finding details, is in Scorpio, as many of you may know, and is also about to station, that is stop, and then move backwards in the sky, go retrograde. That will be happening on Halloween. I will have more to say about that. You can find out a bit in the blog post and the horoscope post from this week, or for this week rather. But for this lunation and for the tone that that's going to set for the next month, Mercury ruling the chart in the same sign as this particular new moon says to me that this particular new moon is much more about diving in, about the introspective qualities that Scorpio brings, and about really deeply investigating our visceral experience. Now, deep investigation is sort of the specialty of Mercury in the sign of Scorpio. And visceral experience is the turn of phrase that I always think about when I consider this sign. Now, in modern astrology, a lot of folks will correlate Scorpio with Pluto, the planet of what is underground, right? Pluto rules the process of composting or transmutating, taking something that's decomposing and decaying and turning it into something new. We can think about the phoenix rising from the ashes. And it's a very good psychological metaphor for what's going on. But if we want to look at the tangible, practical, day-to-day, what are we experiencing side of Scorpio, we're going to want to think about Mars. And Mars is a planet that's about passion, about drive, about fighting for the things that we want, about defending ourselves against the things that we don't want. And that is very visceral. It's very experiential. It's about what's happening in the moment and the way that our human animal, our meat machine, human robot, whatever you want to call the flesh vehicle you live in, is very much about that. And it's about the emotional side of that, right? Our passion, literally passions, emotions, our feelings, and that deeper layer of being an experiencing person that some people will call our consciousness, our awareness, maybe even our subconscious, depending on who you're talking to. So that's the area of our psyche, human meat machine, mind, body, soul, heart connection that we're going to be exploring for this Scorpio new moon. Now, when it comes to intention setting and manifestation rituals and the like, this maybe isn't the best moon to use. Astrologically speaking, on the technical side, the moon does not like Scorpio. And the sun doesn't really love Scorpio either. It's not that those energies can't work, don't bring beautiful gifts, or things that are really lovable and worthwhile, but both the sun and the moon struggle to express their inherent natures in the sign of Scorpio. Now, this is an advantage for us if we are on that path of deep investigation and really rigorous self-reflection. Now, for those of you in North America, the weather's turning in that direction already. We're definitely in fall and rapidly approaching winter, and that for a lot of people brings a shift in our pace, in our direction, and our awareness. We turn from being outwardly focused in the world to inwardly focused. Something about that decrease in light really facilitates this shift in perspective and our shift in direction. Now, with the moon in Scorpio, and this being a new moon, it's a really good time to set the intention to do that probing, introspective, retrospective in some ways, but really deep inner reflection. I believe that's where the most benefit is to be had with engaging this new moon. Now, unlike previous videos, I'm going to be pretty brief with the tangible takeaways because I'm shifting that to a written format. I think will make it much more easy and much more tangible and practical to engage with the questions of the week, challenges of the week, and the journal prompts that I love providing to you. If you are interested in getting that information, you can visit the description box down below and sign up for my mailing list. For the time being, this tangible takeaway PDF is going to be loosely available. Anyone on my mailing list will be receiving this, and soon, as I fully roll out my Patreon page, it will transition to being a patron-only benefit. So if you are interested in that, you'd like to scope it out, or find out ahead of time if becoming a Patreon supporter, subscriber, or patron is right for you, then please do check that out. I would love to share it and to hear your feedback. Now, when it comes to this particular new moon, I say that our best bet for intention setting and ritual manifestation is going to be rituals that put us in the right frame of mind for our introspective process. Now, there's another way we can go with this that I think could be really exciting for a lot of people, maybe a new way of engaging with your witchy woo-ness, or a very intense way to bring some magical practices that are often left outside of astrology. And what I'm referring to here is engaging with, or talking to, or communing with your dead, with your ancestors. Now, as we roll into Halloween, right, and we're talking about this because Mercury rules this lunation chart, and Mercury will be going retrograde, will be stationing to move retrograde the night of Halloween. Halloween is a night that has traditionally been about communing with the dead. This time of year, something about it across many cultures and many time periods has said to humankind, leave out some food for your ancestors. Be nice to the land spirits. Give a little something to the fairies, and so on and so on and so forth. Now, I think the easiest way for a lot of us to engage with this kind of spooky week, this very spooky week, spooky grade, and the Scorpio New Moon is going to be around connecting with our past, or connecting with our dearly beloved and departed, connecting with the ancestors who came before us. There are lots of different ways that you can do this, and the simplest ritual that I recommend in the tangible takeaways that you can get right now by signing up for that mailing list below is to simply invite your dead, your ancestors, maybe just one specific dearly departed loved one, to enjoy a meal with you. Doesn't have to be a special meal. It can literally just be the bowl of cereal you're eating in the morning, or whatever you happen to be eating for dinner, or that glass of water if you think about it beforehand. All you have to do is just take a quiet moment, 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths, or longer if you like, and allow yourself to remember them, to feel their presence. Invite them to be with you if you feel comfortable. You can invite them also to share in the taste of the food, the nourishment of the food that you're eating. Imagine you're inviting a loved one who is physically here with you to sit down and break bread. That's the simplest ritual I can think of, and that's something that you can do Sunday night tonight as the Scorpio New Moon perfects. It's something that you can do throughout the week as you move into the Mercury retrograde, and it's even something that you can do throughout the entire Scorpio season if you like. In fact, if you find that you benefit from that practice, it's something that you can do every day and anytime. But in particular, for this particular week, and with the Scorpio New Moon, I think that it can provide a lot of us the opportunity to grieve in a healthy and contained way. One of the things that Scorpio might signify, and one of the things that Mercury moving retrograde through Scorpio might signify. And definitely something that the moon in Scorpio is going to suggest. We are going to have a lot of feelings activated or up, or just a little more in our conscious awareness. Feelings that are related to things like anxiety, anguish, grief, our feelings around death. Now, to be clear, I am not saying that anyone is going to die, not you, not your friends, not everyone. What I am saying is that people do die eventually, and it is possible that sometime in your life you have experienced someone passing, or you've witnessed a close friend or family member go through that themselves. That's the sort of feeling tone of the things that are coming up. But even if you've never encountered death in any way, you've never stepped on a snail on accident, or seen anything else close to any being passing, you have changed. Likely, even if you're young from my vantage point, or even if you are a much more seasoned elder from my vantage point, you yourself have become a different person. And at some point, we all have the experience of realizing this human that we thought we were, that we really liked, we thought was really cool, just isn't around anymore. For those of you Capricorn babies, especially you Capricorn babies who are going through your Saturn returns right now, you might be really, really keenly aware of this dynamic taking place, where things that you used to be fulfilled by and very excited to do just don't click in the same way. You are actually a new human with a whole new set of wants and desires and feelings about the world. And that old you, someone that you can grieve too. Just because they're gone doesn't mean that you can't access that old you, but it's also true that you can't become that human again. So whether it's a memory for a love you used to have, a person you used to be, a thing that used to be a central part of your life that is no longer, this is a week where I really invite you, and the planets really invite you, to take a minute to connect with what was, and honor its passage, honor its becoming, its existence, and also its fading away. Maybe there's a next step there where you honor it fading away and transitioning into something new, or maybe it's just sitting with the experience of honoring an ending. Now, again, I've said a lot about this week, about this moon, about the horoscopes and Mercury retrograde and a whole bunch of other things, and the links for all of those are down below. The most benefit I can possibly extend to you is to suggest that you check out that PDF that I created, the tangible takeaways for this week. Got 4 different sets of journal prompts, questions, and challenges of the week for the new moon in Scorpio, for the Mercury retrograde taking place on Halloween, as well as this third quarter Mars-Saturn square that peters out over the course of the week, and the upcoming Mars-Jupiter sextile that picks up over the course of the week. If you'd like to know more about how those things will impact you, again, check out my blog. If you'd like to read the horoscopes, check out my public Patreon page. If you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear them. Please drop me a line down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, smash on that subscribe button, whichever corner it's in, hit the thumbs up, and ring the notification bell if you would like to receive notifications as soon as new content becomes available. Once again, my name is Bear Ryver. I'm the intersectional astrologer and Reiki master of Psyche and Soul Astrology. It is my pleasure, honor, and privilege to be a part of the process of you accelerating your growth and diving into grounded empowerment. Until we meet again, much love and many blessings to you.